So before we move on to actual discussion, I am reminded of a quote by Albert Einstein. And he very rightly said years ago that in the middle of difficulty lies. Now, many interpretations have come whether we meant difficulty or we meant poverty. And today's present times, we are in stages of inquiry onwards, India for sure. A lot of difficulties have come. The world is exposed to COVID-19 virus, like a lot of concerns on businesses also. And pharmaceutical sector is one sector which is possibly to get weak. And a lot of companies are looking at started rethinking whether they should be particular country in China or not and somewhere else. And whenever anybody thinks of pharma manufacturing, so think of China and India. There are many reasons India is generally like how bigger growth. So then let me just talk about how exactly the industry works. Pharma industry in India is a huge industry growing steadily at a rapid pace, expected to touch almost $55 billion by the end of this year. There's another sector called contract manufacturing, where there's models, global big pharma and small companies looking at for supply of various elements which play a role. However, India is dependent on China. It's an important part and we can use. Whenever population is manufactured for India, so India is a big player, also involved manufacturing API, which is actually pharmaceutical API. Other elements like intermediates and other important chemicals which play a role in the manufacture of formulation. There is definitely dependent on China on these particular intermediates and APIs and chemicals. Because of the present situation, a lot of countries, big countries, have started rethinking it and to go out of China. And I'm sure when they start thinking in these lines, they're looking at some of the radar. But point is India really prepared? Can we grab opportunities? And it is said that whenever I go back to Einstein, it's very difficult to find opportunity. I think huge opportunity for India to become very important and powerful. But are we prepared? Is it really to welcome to India? So I also feel that the title which we have for this session, pharma manufacturing, welcome to India, will remove full stop and replace full stop by question mark. I'm not sure. That's what I think we are going to discuss today. Of course, we are there, and I'm sure we can definitely be somewhere. And then we have an excellent panel in maybe maybe 45 minutes where exactly we are. So I think I will start first with Gowree. So before we move on to the hardcore slides of manufacturing, Ameya, Darren, etc. So years ago, we wrote a book called Banks with 1,000 suspension. I'm happy to show this book. This is what the book looks like. I got it from Amazon today. But what made you buy this book? So years ago, contract manufacturing was a big scale, bouncing back. And I also want to know from you, when we wrote that book, what went in your mind about writing this book and where we are from, how India has changed from those years, I think it was 50 years ago and today. So I want to explain on this book and where we are today.
Sure. So honestly, as a firm, we started focusing in this space from early 2000, I remember. And those days, quite a few queries started coming in on the clinical trials. And in fact, we really had to understand the right go back to the basics and understand the entire industry those days to figure out as to how the clinical trial works, what are the various stages, what are the do's and don'ts. We also started getting lots of queries on the R&D because those days people started having collaborations with the Indian company for R&D purpose to develop milestone-based, rather those were milestone-based arrangements for in-licensing, out-licensing, and the like. And of course, the third aspect that started coming in was the contract manufacturing in India. So when we saw this trend picking up, we also realized that there is a lot of apprehension among foreign players, especially when they look at India. The apprehensions were right from whether my IP will be protected, how do I negotiate a contract with the Indian party, what are the do's and don'ts, how do I deal with the joint developed IP, how do I manage the R&D relationships. So when we started, and of course the tax questions, right? And what are the do's and don'ts in the negotiation when you are negotiating with an Indian party. So I think when we started noticing that, somewhere we felt that this is likely to be a good wave for India to capture on R&D, clinical trials, and contract manufacturing, but somehow it didn't go the way we had expected, at least, not the kind of wave that we had expected. There were hurdles faced in between, because of the changes in the clinical trial regulations, right? So I think, however, now when we actually, today I revisited the index of that book. We have actually covered each and every item, right from regulatory to contract negotiation to the pitfalls. How do you protect your IP? What are the tax issues to be looked at? So probably it's the time to come out with the next edition of that book. But I think it is very much relevant even today, in today's scenario, to revisit all those elements and probably even including in today's conversation. We will look at that. But I think time has come for us to actually grab that opportunity in my mind, and probably we may have missed the first wave when it started some time back. But this is the time probably we really catch up, in my mind, in so far as India is.
Thank you very much, Gowree. I think that's a very positive point. That the book which years ago released, and in present time when opportunity knocks your door once or twice, it now no longer necessary to say that you create an opportunity. Now I think we need to create that where create an opportunity and dare to become the player when it comes to pharma manufacturing, by taking the global companies region. Is it possible? Sometimes we feel, yes, we have a great initiative, we have great know-how, infrastructure, but sometimes on the ground reality is correct. We say that you can't run this by with obviously will jump into the water. And I'm so happy that we are Ameya today. And so Ameya, you and your family is a veteran, especially in specialty manufacturing skill, which is very key to pharma sector. And you have an amazing on the ground experience. I just want to know, what is your take as an important stakeholder for India's capacity or capability for an end-to-end manufacturing? What exactly is this?
The potential, is extremely good for sure, but the concerns are going to be, the building blocks, what we call in chemical sector, the basic chemicals. Now, those capacities in India are limited today. So we are pretty much for those. So basically, the solvent, as I said, the isopropanol, which is a major solvent utilized in this industry. India has only one producer for this solvent, whereas the capacity is probably only 1/5 or 1/6 of what China has. So this is the case in most of the building blocks or basic chemicals which are used in this industry. And we are definitely dependent on China for these the raw materials for the intermediates.
Yeah, Any additional point would like to add whether when you want to set up the end-to-end facility, any challenges you have?
So basically you have to start with, right from the petrochemical plant. So right from petrochemical plant to the pharma, formulations or intermediates, we need to have the end-to-end chemistry, available within India to be, self-reliant or self-sufficient in this sector. Otherwise, it will be difficult to. Otherwise, we are going to depend on China for raw material.
I think that was a good start, and yes, definitely the plans of China is basically, and there could be another challenge also when you set up a plant or expand the capabilities of an existing manufacturing plant to manage the demand. We will talk about that later. Darren, I have a question for you. We have been discussing, we have a very good glimpse of how exactly things were and are. And Ameya also told us that yes, there is a possibility, a very positive note. So I think I just wanted to give a general background how manufacturing is in Pharma is organized.
Sure. Thanks, Antani. So, as we all know, there are multiple components to getting from the raw material up to the finished formulation, which includes your intermediates, your active pharmaceutical ingredients of the API, the excipients, the chemical capsules, the dye that goes into it, and so on and so forth. And the industry today is organized in a way that you have companies that do end-to-end, meaning that they deal with intermediates up till finished formulations. You have companies that deal with specific aspects, such as purely manufacturing of the capsules, manufacturing of the API only, manufacturing of intermediates only, so on and so forth. And we also have focus to the extent that they may be built towards supplying to the domestic market, which is within India only, or they may want to concentrate only on the export, and they may be export-oriented units that supply locally as well. And of course, with a mix of all of this put together, where we supply both domestic as well as exports. Now, in that setup, there are two primary ways in which we find pharma manufacturers in the country today. One is, of course, when you are manufacturing on your own. You have the capability, you have the infrastructure, and you go ahead and you do the manufacturing activity yourself. And that's pretty straightforward in the sense that the entire setup, the facility, and all of that is owned by the company that's producing the product itself. The other way in which we see pharma manufacturers operate is on a contract manufacturing arrangement. And that contract manufacturing arrangement can happen in two forms. One is what we refer to commonly as a P2P model, and the other is what we refer to as a loan licensing model. So in the P2P model, which is basically where you outsource the entire manufacturing activity to a third party who has the capabilities to produce the kind of product that you otherwise don't have the capability to produce. The end product is then supplied to the person who has contracted out to manufacture, and is purely marketed by the person who has contracted the manufacturing process out. So, if you were to look from a regulatory perspective, the label of such a product would say that it was manufactured by the contract manufacturer, while it is marketed by the owner of the brand or owner of the formulation itself. On a loan license basis, it's slightly different, especially from a regulatory point of view, whereby there are third-party facilities which are utilized by the actual manufacturer. And I'll give you an example where maybe one process of the entire manufacturing process is not something that the company is capable of doing within its own manufacturing plant. And so what they would do is approach another manufacturing facility and use or loan out that particular manufacturing process for the use of their own facilities. So in such a situation, for example, sterile distillation is a very common portion of the manufacturing process that's licensed out. And you will find that there are many companies today, such as Microphone and other companies that to do with only that specific process itself. For various reasons, including because it's a capital intensive process and for other reasons. So that person is merely licensed out to another party, but the responsibility and the entire process is actually overseen by the person who is contracting this person out itself. So overall, I would say that that's a broad setup of how we see pharma manufacturing activities today.
That's very interesting, very informative also, because I see regular makeup from organizations, significant emphasis on contract manufacturing for many years, and again contract manufacturing has various models which are very prevalent and successfully implemented. I remember years ago, at about 30, 40 years ago, getting involved in a transaction that was looking at 5 items for one particular organization. And it was a simple, plain, regular type of kind of case, like a sticky, because of certain regulatory issues inspection. So I think since we have various types of manufacturing, road license, or different PP model, or a simple contractual arrangement with third party, with customer and contract manufacturer. We have a huge number of contract manufacturers, and we have significant deals on acquisitions or private investments in contract manufacturing space and partners and part. But because when there are so many functions or services and some kind of activity, and it is clear that pharma industry is likely regulatory intensive industry. So Shreya, I think I'll go to you and ask you, and I just want to give a background on what is actually regulatory framework to pharma industry in India. Is a more emphasis on manufacturing.
Yeah, you can hear me? Thanks for that question, Dr. Antani. So, thanks. So, as you very correctly pointed out, the pharmaceutical industry is something that is regulated and properly regulated in India, particularly because obviously drugs and medical devices, if not manufactured correctly, can have a very difficult and adverse impact on people's lives. So, just to give a little bit of the regulatory background in India, there is the primary legislation that regulates drugs and medical devices in India. It's called the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940. The really old act, but it has really come into its own over the past years that it's been enforced. So under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act, we have two rules. One is the Drugs and Cosmetics Rules, which regulates pharmaceuticals, and the other is the Medical Device Rules 2017, which had come into force only 2 years ago, and this law regulates medical devices. So that's the broad legislation that governs it. In terms of manufacturing, the process is such that every activity that takes place with respect to a drug, so maybe not at the solvent level or the raw material level, but from the API or the bulk drug level onwards, every manufacturing activity is regulated. After manufacture, every activity up until the sale to the consumer is also regulated. So how is this regulated? Basically, any manufacturer is required to obtain a license from the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, which is the apex drug regulator, or from a state drug authority, depending upon how the system has been set up. So, the licenses that are required to be obtained are different based on the type of drugs that one is trying to manufacture. Maybe the drugs are more along the lines of vaccines or the biological products. The license required would be different than if you are trying to manufacture a psychotropic substance or other prescription drugs. And the other thing to keep in mind with respect to manufacturing is every license comes with a certain set of license conditions. The most important one is the standards the manufacturer has to keep in mind when manufacturing. So India has prescribed the standards under Schedule M of the Drugs and Cosmetics Rules, and they're commonly known as the good manufacturing practices. And they sort of say what the manufacturing facility has to be like, who you have to employ in these places, the precautions you have to take during packing, labeling to ensure that none of these processes go wrong, and the license requirements also separately recall mechanism in place in case something does go wrong and you need to recall it back. So broadly, is how manufacturing in India is regulated.
Thank you, Shreya. That was very quick. It's a long topic. Very one important point I think we need to understand is that manufacturing is a state subject. And that is what I think we need to be important. And whenever we're looking at creating India as a pharmaceutical hub for manufacturing for global industry, we need to reform solutions. Discuss on how exactly the industry is, what are the regulations we have. I think now let's go into the water now. And we need to understand the hardcore realities. So I just want you to share with us what are the challenges. What are the challenges India has in the present time and the looking at countries looking at India in a big way. Government also would also want to jump in to create some solutions to that we'll discuss later on. But when we want to set up infrastructure, there, from your experience, what are the challenges India has or a player is going to face significantly? I also want you to touch upon the challenging side of we always talk positive also, the both sides of the coin, that there's a challenge because there's a problem, there's a solution. So I also want you to tell us what are the positives or which things are really working well in India, especially on infrastructure, some regulatory issues, regulatory plan, central plan. I just want you to share your hardcore experience.
Thank you. So first challenge, is going to be the land allotment. So land allotment used to take about 1 to 2 years, few years ago. That and manual application. So all these things are slightly improved. So you have come down from 1 to 2 years to about 6 months to a year for land allotment. I think that can be speeded up further and needs to be done. The government, as you said, it's a state subject. So in Maharashtra, for example, the Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation has gone for online applications. They have gone for auctions for the land, for all the remaining pending lands in the industrial areas. They are going for auctions. But auction means there have to be enough players on the auction. So many times these kind of challenges where not enough players are there in the auction, and then the auction gets postponed. So we are seeing this kind of scenario also. So maybe the land allotment I think needs to come down to about 1 to 2 months from currently 6 months to a year. That's one of the challenges. Another issue which is from land perspective is now they are insisting on 33% of the land to be kept as a green zone. So that's a major challenge. It used to be 10% earlier. So because of this 33% and with parking and the road requirements of the industrial areas, you lose another 20%. So to construct the industry, you are left hardly with 40 or 45% of the land. Now to have safety and everything in place, to have distances in between the buildings, you don't have enough land available to build a plant. That's one other challenge industry is facing. Then the next issue which comes to is the environment issue. The environmental clearance, which is necessary for all the chemical and intermediate plants, environment clearance from the state environment committee is necessary. Under this, now the projects can be categorized into 2 parts. One is B1 and B2, which is a project requirement requiring detailed environment impact assessment, and another is projects not requiring detailed environment impact assessment. But typically how it happens, all the environment committees put all the projects into B1 category where detailed environment impact plan has to be made, which is again goes to almost 2 years process. Even in same industrial areas, where because this is a land all these subjects are, four companies coming into that industry area, four of them are doing the same study. So this kind of things, need to be improved. Then again, 20% of your project cost is going into environment protection because now government requires in the industrial parks also each company needs to have their own treatment facility. Now this is because in the past industrial areas used to have a common treatment facility, but because of the past pollution issues, the government moved towards industrial each industry having its own treatment facility. That adds to the cost as well as again a multiplication. Each company having their own facility. Then on the fuel front, the fuel is like Gujarat is gas has been given to industrial areas. Maharashtra, interior of Maharashtra still people are depending on either diesel or the coal, which are more polluting fuels. So there could be a standardization in fuel availability in like Gujarat, probably Maharashtra industrial areas also can be given gas connections. This is one the fuel front. And then on the positive side, I think Gujarat has now more ports like Hazira, Mundra, Bandla. So now the load is off Navashia slightly. So I think we have good port. I would say we have good facility at the moment. Roads, of course, are improving every day. And then talking about power is now the connectivity, power connections and availability is quite good now. So we are definitely past that, power cuts and all those issues. And testing lab also for this sector, I think we have good testing labs also available. Enough infrastructure is there in the testing area.
Yeah, so I mean, one more point I think I also want you to touch upon what your experience in your environmental clearance. I think very important aspect for pharma industry, especially manufacturing sector where there is a possibility of other chemicals being thrown out or biological wastes may be there. And there are certain zones in some places, not necessarily, where what I understand from our experience that each needs to obtain independent or individual environment clearance certificate or consent or license. There is a need for, I think, a zone which has the environmental clearance so that any unit that comes in that particular zone would not be required to go individually for the environmental clearance. Can you just throw some light on this for a minute?
Yeah, so this the EIA 2006 Act, which after which most of the there was a 1992 Environment Clearance Act and then the 2006. So the 2006 included mainly this under 5 category. Most of these pharma intermediate producers and chemical producers came in. So under this category, there is a possibility to have this entire industrial area to have a single environment clearance. Then each individual industries do not need to take this clearance. So I think there is one in Vizag where I think it's called TCPIR. So I think there in that case the government has issued a environment clearance for the entire industrial area. So then that saves that's going to save at least 2 years for the industry. If government can have an industrial park for these intermediate producers or chemical producers with pre-clearances of the environment.
I think thank you so much, Ameya. That was very, very interesting to know, and the impression of India is that globally on certain concerns, etc. I thought it would be a black cloud with silver lining, but I'm happy that it is huge white cloud with silver lining with all of positive things. I think that was very useful information. I would like to go to Gowree now. Now, what next? I think Gowree, we have two very interesting questions. From the basis of my question. One question is from Malik, that given that manufacturing in India is still new, it still does not satisfy FDA inspections for the drugs being manufactured in this country. I understand that the reference is to US FDA. How does India's local sale of drugs be monitored? And another question is from Abhinav discussed. He talks about insights of digitalization of manufacturing. So I think when it comes to FDA, there I think it's very important to know that India has maximum number of US FDA plants outside US itself, which is a great thing. Anything which is being manufactured in those plants have a easy passage to go to US, but there are certain things which are required. So Gowree, my question to you with reference to this, and you can cover answer that. Ameya very rightly said that there are certain challenges, and capabilities may not be that important. Maybe we need a bigger player because it's a capital intensive requirement also. They require here. We have a very interesting Make in India campaign from Pharma healthcare side. We have medical devices with them, but Pharma manufacturing per se is not there. So I just want you to share with us the present need, especially when we are sitting on a very interesting opportunity of welcoming world to India in pharma manufacturing. What are some changes or modifications, relaxations, incentives, assumptions can you build regulatory and legal framework to invite global companies in India? Strongly looking at the investment in the
Sure. So I think I'll take it stepwise in terms of how the entire process happens. Right? Let's first take R&D. Now, when you talk about R&D, because you have asked me especially from a regulatory perspective, right? When you talk about R&D, that means at that time the drug is yet not developed. Correct? You're still in a like a lab stage. Right? So what happens is today the industry is facing a challenge when they are importing some small chemicals with intention to do not the clinical trials. Clinical trials of course not much later. But drug for the lab testing, right? I think that is where there is some amount of confusion because when you import this at the import level, there are these CDSCO local CDSCO at the port level, different CDSCO are taking different view when it comes to import of that, and they are insisting that a license is required for that import. And we have looked into this threadbare, and we believe under certain conditions, no drug license is required because the moment you talk about a drug license, that itself delays your process. So the short point is, for the R&D purpose, there has to be a proper clarity available to say that so long as you are importing chemicals only for the lab testing, you don't really need to get covered under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. That is the first, because that will help even the R&D process. Now coming to the to the point that Ameya mentioned, or even Darren and Shreya mentioned earlier, even the entire framework of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act probably under which, because all these intermediates, etc., for the clarification of the participants, even intermediates would get covered in the definition of a drug, and therefore the Drugs and Cosmetics Act will also apply when it comes to the manufacturing, right? So the challenge today is probably, okay, you will get a license, you will start manufacturing and all of that. Today, it is more of a collaborative approach required. Let us not call them as the drug offices, etc., as regulators, but let us call them enablers. The reason I say that because today there are issues where we say constantly show cause notices being issued, and on some small things here and there, they are not resolving those show cause notices. So any violation of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act would be leading to a criminal offense. So all this entire mindset under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act will have to be revisited of a collaborative approach between the industry and the regulator. Because at least when we deal with the clients, they always believe that that person is my regulator, whether the law says it or not under the GMP compliance facility. If they want me to do some process improvement, I will do it. That is the industry mindset. I believe the regulator also should have that mindset. Say that, okay, let us, give that kind of a way for people to develop their own processes within the boundaries. But that is one hurdle we constantly see. And there is complete distraction for the production unit, for the legal unit, or otherwise to constantly deal with these irritants of show cause notices and hearings and writ petitions, you will see so many, pending before the High Court, etc. So I think that is one regime which if it can be, can be sort of revisited in the positive mind. And the last point I will make in terms of what Ameya said, I have had the opportunity to look at those regulations, especially on the environmental side. They are so badly drafted, unfortunately. So I think a complete, like a task force in my mind will be required to ultimately, rather than focusing on the words in the regulation, to ask the regulator, what do you want? Let us start with that. And then, say that, okay, is that what you want? But that is not what the regulations are. So probably a more positive, kind of a dialogue with the regulators, with the resolution to, sort of further the intention rather than what is written, the law, because that is not really what is actually demonstrating what the regulator has in mind all the time. So I think if we can resolve this, I think on the digitization, I'm not very clear what the question is, but if we are saying that are there technologies available to monitor the digitization or rather digitization of the manufacturing processes, I believe there are solutions coming out, and probably Ameya is the right person to answer that, but I believe there are solutions being made available where you are able to monitor the entire process by sort of digitizing it in terms of when can the reactors be mixed together and all of that. But I believe that is something I'll leave it to Ameya to answer on.
So, I think we'll touch upon that question later on, because I just want to touch upon two or three very important points before the question. I think, you talked very interestingly about challenges and so on. But I think when it comes to pharma, it's a science. I don't think it's a science. And always there is some concern, coordination on part of people. We have everything. We have land, we have basic infrastructure, we have all the clearance. But who will work? People are going to work. So I just want to ask you a question. How about skilled manpower for chemical and pharma manufacturing sector? This is a challenge. Or is it okay? And along with that, when we talk of manpower, we always talk of some labor law issues. Can you put some light on that?
So basically on the manpower front, I would say we have good capabilities on the equipment manufacturing for pharma. So there is, I think, enough capacity, enough talent, enough manufacturers, and you can say throughout the country. Mainly focused, concentrated around Mumbai, Gujarat, and of course Hyderabad. So apart from that, the designers also, you can say freelancing designers or companies who can design your plants. That also is quite good availability according to my experience. And then engineers, of course, engineering, you are aware that we have a good amount of chemical engineers or mechanical engineers. All these engineers are coming out of. So there is a lot of capacity in the engineering colleges. So I think engineers are pretty good engineers available in the country right now. The challenge we are mainly facing right now is on the chemist front. So the bachelors of chemistry or bachelors of science and the masters of science. So what happens is most of the toppers in our country normally choose engineering, and the backbenchers, so to say, are moving towards the sciences. So that's the major challenge we are facing. So for hiring one engineer, probably we'll have to do 50 interviews. For hiring one chemist, we'll have to do about 200 interviews. It's so difficult to find a good chemist today in the industry. So I think we need to focus. We are going to need good chemistry bachelors for this industry to move ahead in coming years. And probably we'll have to have a vocational training or implement it more in during bachelor's and master's courses. That is one suggestion that I will have for the universities. Which is there, I think, in a lot of engineering courses, I think they have 6 months or 1 year implant training. And probably tie up with HCL or IITs. I think HCL has been given mandate on the pollution front, I think, from the government, where to help the small scale or mid scale industries to develop pollution treatment facilities. So I think more involvement with universities it will be desirable, where industry doesn't have to work on pollution, and all these things are ready-made, made available. The processes are made available from IITs or NCS to the industry, which I've seen in Germany happen, where a lot of German industries work closely with the universities on this front. On the labor, I would say the things have improved a lot. A lot of compliances have become online, and for the new industry, government is paying a part of the PF, Provident Fund. I think I would say on the labor front, we have improved a lot in the last few years.
I think very very important point, and I hope that the what we're discussing here is I think India becomes a great pharma and people who will be trying to take science and chemistry. And I definitely remember when the Palo Alto the chemists and we always complain not doing chemistry, and people go to medicine and surgery. But fortunately, people don't go to medicine surgery, people go to law. And there are some people who were surgeons in 90s and become lawyers in 2019. I think that was on the lighter side. So then I think we discussed a lot. Now we're talking about people working in India. Global players are looking at India, setting up their operations or entering contract manufacturing. So I just want you to know as what we need to be aware of. So I won't say do's and don'ts, but there was a question also on how IP would be managed. Some IP part, they also wish Gowree also can add on IP once we finish on manufacturing sector. Quickly, what we need to be aware of when we are looking in India.
Sure. Thanks for that. You're right. Contract manufacturing is a very attractive option, especially for business players coming into India. It does make a lot of sense to get into an arrangement whereby you may not have to initially please put down so much capital investment, and if you're able to find the right partner to tie up with to get your product manufactured in the country, it will be very commercially viable for you as well. But in that whole process, there are a couple of things to keep in mind, both from a regulatory and commercial point of view, just to make sure that things are kosher and you are compliant with both Indian as well as offshore jurisdictional, regulatory and legal requirements. So, as a person who is contracting out your manufacturing activity, your primary weapons or the primary things that you can do are to make sure that the due diligence is done very thoroughly to ensure that no suspensions have happened, no cancellations have taken place, there have been no adverse events that have been reported or manufacturing facility, so on and so forth. But it's not sufficient that we only take care of what has happened in the past, but also what happens going forward as well, which is why auditing rights are very important, and in your agreements with contract manufacturers, they become very crucial to ensure that you have as much auditing rights as possible in order to ensure that whenever required, you can examine documents, you can examine GMP compliance, you can examine any sort of issues that are taking place in the manufacturing plant as well. So these are the two main things that you can do to ensure that things are moving ahead in a kosher manner. Another very important thing, and we have to remember that even though you are contracting out manufacturing facility, and until now, a lot of the legal obligations and legal requirements were on the manufacturer itself, or the real manufacturer itself. India is also moving towards a change or a shift in the regulatory regime, whereby even the person who is contracting out the manufacturing activity will be held responsible for the quality and production of the product itself. So that distinction which was made earlier in terms of there being a marketer and there being a manufacturer is slowly being blurred, and most likely if things do move the way that it is, by March 2021 or so, that line will be blurred in terms of who is responsible for what. And because of that, it becomes all the more crucial to ensure that the manufacturing facility even though not operated by you, is still running tip-top. And for that, there are a couple of things that we should always keep in mind. One is that on the GMP compliance front itself, the primary evidence of GMP compliance is the standard operating procedures that are set out and how it is documented. So it is always crucial to ensure that every process is documented as closely as possible, right down to every individual aspect. And this becomes a very important document, especially during an inspection, or especially when there is a requirement to show the regulatory authorities that were compliant with GMP. And one thing to always keep in mind is that GMP compliance is an evolving concept. Even the regulators know that, and they know that every manufacturing facility will evolve its manufacturing facilities as much as possible. Another important point is also that if you are an expert in or an expert in doing, then not just Indian GMP compliance is required, but even compliance with US FDA standards, compliance with CGMP, compliance with EU standards are also crucial. And another thing that also is essential is that you need to make sure that the contract manufacturer always reports to you if there's any sort of inspection or any sort of action that's taken at the plant level. Because even if your product is not involved, you may be required to, if there's an adverse event such as suspension or cancellation of license, there could be some issues in terms of being blacklisted for tendering processes, or there being an order not to dispose the stock for a period of time until the entire matter is closed. So these are some of the points that need to be kept in mind. And one last important point that I just close on is the fact that some companies, or due to whatever reason, GMP compliance standards or whatever, we need to ensure that every batch has a control sample, because that becomes the absolute evidence in terms of your standard, in terms of your quality compliance, and so on and so forth. So as long as you maintain control samples, or you ask your contract manufacturer to maintain control samples, to a great extent that will help you in terms of any issue that may arise due to whatever reason at the manufacturing facility. With that, over to you.
Thank you, Darren. I think it's very comprehensive. And Gowree, I just want you to focus upon an important point. We carry characters, I must ask you since the IP lawyer. What about IP protections and joint development of IP when we're talking about the pharma?
Sure. So I think before that answer that question, I think I just make one point which Darren mentioned and add to that. I think in one of the cases, though it was not on the manufacturing, it was more on the clinical trial side. What had happened was one of our clients had done clinical trial at one particular entity in India, and that entity had some issue with some other clinical trial completely unrelated that was noted. And because of that, our client's trial in India was questioned by the EU regulator that they could not rely on that data in India. Right? So similarly, the point that Darren made, that even if company A has a manufacturing arrangement with say 5 different foreign companies, and one of the products has an issue, you never know how the other 4 companies' regulators are going to deal with that because of one lab, with some other unrelated product. So, and whether the recall will get triggered, etc. So I think that is where one has to be very, very careful, and that's why I was saying even earlier that the collaboration with the regulators and the industry has to be absolutely at par in terms of the understanding. Now coming to one more point I wanted to add on the liability side in India. Now we have new Consumer Protection Act, under which concept of product liability has been added, under which there is an end-to-end again. The brand owner also becomes liable, even if the manufacturer is different, right? So that is another thing to be kept in mind. Also, one more legislation to be kept in mind. Now coming to the IP point, I'm cognizant of the time, so I will quickly deal with very quickly. Yeah. So coming to the IP, the product patent and the process patent, right? In India, the Indian companies have begun to also focus on the product patent, but essentially, India has been a very process-driven industry in the sense that it innovate the processes, right? So whenever you are talking about collaboration and all of that, what we have seen is typically if it is an innovative company, they will want to keep the IP of the product because they are the innovative company. But when it comes to processes, the Indian companies probably can develop better processes. And even if there is a process patent for the foreign company in India, there is a leeway or sometimes the negotiations happen that if there is a better process developed, if the same process can be used for other products which are not of the of the innovator, the Indian company tries to keep that leeway to use that process elsewhere. There is always a negotiation that happens, but from a protection perspective, I think we have come a long way. If you have a good case, getting injunctions in India is not difficult. We have actually had another, cCep on this very issue on the patent protection in India. So I would request the participants to go and check that video because we've discussed that issue quite in that presentation.
Thank you, Gowree. That was very crisp and quick. I think Ashish, I think we have connected many dots in Pharma manufacturing. Whether it was infrastructure, regulatory, IT, but the biggest dot that comes in next, you understand technology. And very quickly, want to touch upon maybe 2 minutes or so, sorry for much your time. How exactly the taxation is working in Pharma manufacturing? And any new thing that government should think when you are looking at the welcoming global companies in Pharma?
Thanks, Apr. I'm obviously at the time, so I'll go very quickly on this. For manufacturing companies in India, last year, just before October, the finance ministry had come up with the new tax rates for companies which are going in the manufacturing sector, and they had said that if you are a manufacturing company which is set up in India after 1st October 2019, the rate of tax would be only 15%. But this was subject to the condition that you will not be able to take any benefit of the other deductions that are available for companies generally. While 15% is a great move and puts us at par with many countries which have low tax time, but the fact that deductions were not allowed was actually quite a dampener for the industry. In terms of deductions which are otherwise available, there is 100% deduction available on expenses which are incurred if it is for contribution paid to a research association for having done scientific research or university. It is paid to a research association having objective undertaking scientific research or university, college or other institutes to be used for social science and statistical research. In fact, 100% deduction is also given for scientific research done in-house. So if you are a manufacturing company which is also carrying out certain R&D, then you will also be provided 100% reduction on the cost that you are incurring for the scientific research. So I think from that perspective, certain reductions were available, but if we need to make things more positive, allow other companies to come into India, to invest into India, to start manufacturing in India, I think these reductions need to grow. The 150%, 100% of reductions have been there from the longest time, and I think now it's time to really look at these provisions, provide more reductions, so that people are able to think of India as a new manufacturing hub for pharma. And considering whatever is going on in the world with the pandemic, I think this is the right time and the most opportune moment that the government has to relook at these provisions and give them a higher reduction, allowing all these companies to come to India without thinking too much. That's what it's my income.
Thank you, Ashish. I think, and I'm very happy to share that I think organizers have given us additional 6-7 minutes because we have very interesting questions. But Ameya, I wanted and with you asking one question, but I mean, I see many questions, that what are the positives India has. I think we have questions, especially is India ready, like what steps India should take to manage the skills that China is able to provide to the world. Then there is, can India match China, considering that there are several problems, what factors can Indian pharma companies from China to India. So I just want you to answer this question. And I want to understand from what business so far by things. Yes, yeah, really, but you are the industry player. So can we match China? And to me, yes, we should, but I want to hear from you.
Ashish, just I thought to talk about a little bit about GST aspect, which the taxation part. GST, things have really improved from the export of these medicines. So GST refunds are coming in time if you are, your applications are correct, and of course you have to select good suppliers, because if your supplier pays GST only, then you get the credit. So of course it's not government's responsibility, it's the company's responsibility, where you choose suppliers who pay taxes on time. So GST, we are quite happy with the refunds. It has almost been now online, where we almost get quarterly refunds of our input GST. On the on positive front, government has moved the pharma, the intermediate sector recently into, as I said, to B2 category of the environment clearance. So I think the environment impact assessment will not be required in 30th of September for all the expansions which are going to come up. So probably I would think that the government is going to extend that beyond 30th September. That would be a good starting point, where almost you can say within a week you can get approval if if environment impact assessment report is not required for a intermediate producer. So that gives a good starting point, and I think probably we'll have to start with some import from China initiatives, as I said, the building blocks. But the focus should be right from building blocks to the end products. That should be the focus in coming years.
So what I understand is that yes, we can definitely ban, but another concern with one of the participants raised is can India ban the pricing part? China has a huge advantage on low cost. Can it also do that over a period of time?
I think yes, you can. I think even today, last 2 years, if you talk to any producer in our field, they would say that now pricing is India as is at par. So certain pollution norms which China in last 2 years made very stringent norms, and I think they call it in China blue sky policy. So under that a lot of polluted areas where very stringent actions were taken, and industries had to run to lower capacity. And we have seen in last 2 years our prices are competitive compared to Chinese producers.
Also, I think what I understand is a question of last mile. I'm sure when there is a challenge to be fast, and I'm sure that will happen. So I'm just going to touch upon 2 questions. I really apologize to other participants that may answer your questions. Gowree, this question is for you, and you have done so many transactions in contract. This question is from Soumya. So for an export manufacturing medicines on non-licensing basis, what are the ways to circumvent exclusive contracts with importers, and what are some of the contractual frameworks used for such contracts with original manufacturers, and mainly how is the contract work?
Sure. So I think just on the point, when you talk about loan license, just to clarify from a regulatory perspective, only if you're a manufacturer in India or an entity in India do you have that arrangement of a loan license. If you're a foreign entity, what you're really doing is contract manufacturing, where the Indian entity itself gets a proper manufacturing license, right? So just on a regulatory side. Coming to your point on the contractual thing, yes, we have seen foreign companies especially putting the exclusivity clause in the contract, and you talk about exclusivity. Typically, if they say that if this is this type of a medication or this type of an API, then you will not do a similar or competing API for some other company. The question really is that suppose I'll give an example. If it's a paracetamol, right? Obviously, there will be that is not something that is an exclusivity, or otherwise there are so many manufacturers of paracetamol. The exclusivity, if at all, should be agreed or could be agreed only to the extent where the foreign entity has an anxiety about their IP being used for something else in parallel, or for example, if the foreign entity is giving you or managing a supply of an intermediate for you at a particular price from some source, and their apprehension that you should not, divert that supply to a third party, for the third party benefit. So if there are any key, for relationship related, issues because of which the exclusivity is sought for, then only then can you probably agree to that kind of an exclusivity in my mind. Or again, as I said, if for the IP protection or otherwise, but you can always negotiate out and narrow the scope of exclusivity by clearly understanding, because the first draft that will come in will be always broad. But what you need to understand, where is the real pain point of the foreign party, and then address that pain point by giving, a counter. So I'll just stop here, and if there is any follow-up question, we can make.
Sure. I think then I will take up last question, and I touch upon, and I also answer Gowree. The question is from Ethan. That what is the scope for EPR in manufacturing complex biosimilars as compared to low-cost chemical manufacturing? Huge scope. I think biosimilars, it's like when you compare complex biosimilars or biosimilars versus low-cost generic drugs, I think it's a kind of a comparing lemon with orange. But no, if you compare biosimilars with other products which are there globally, India has a huge market and there are more very important products which are coming in pipeline, they're already there. So it's a huge market for biosimilars. And the another question in terms of R&D, how can you scale up to research or breakthrough molecule as compared to complex R&D alone? And whether we are going to see any breakthrough molecules soon. I think it's a very interesting question. It's difficult to answer, but I think yes. So many factors play a role, right, from IP to facilities to infrastructure, as well as government support to this that. So, but I'm personally very hopeful that once minded breakthrough molecules will come from India, there are certain companies which have significant number of pipeline molecules, whether it is in asthma or performing that was working very actively in Alzheimer's, someone working on different elements. So I think there is a hope. So if you want to touch upon R&D and breakthrough molecule coming from India, what can be done? You can just share 2 lines for a meeting and then we will.
Sure. So I think I will go back to what Ameya said. I think it all goes to human brain, right? The ability to sort of contribute to that effort and a clear will, at the government level, at the academia level. Because what we have seen in other countries is there is a lot of collaboration of various stakeholders to come together to reach that point. So I think that kind of collaboration is something which we have begun to see. It's not we have not seen. Like for example, when I used to go to teach at the Bombay College of Pharmacy, I could see that pharma companies have actually established their own labs within that college, and there is some level of collaboration. Maybe we are not fully aware of that, but more effective collaboration and this pure science. I think that is the focus somewhere in our Skill India development program or whatever we are talking about. I think that is where it is very, very important for us to focus on pure science. That is which will help us to move forward.
That's what I think. That is where I think you said that most of the inventions in chemistry come from laboratories, and these laboratories are usually in university. I think we'll touch upon other questions later on, but I'm very happy to end and conclude this wonderful discussions we had on pharma manufacturing. I had my doubt whether I should put question mark or a full stop at the end of the statement. I think I'm definitely not going to put question mark, with an exclamation mark. I think I'm there with the dot. Lots of positives we have. It is a question of just last mile scenario when a lot of companies are definitely going to look at. Some countries have already announced that they are doing some vaccines, China, and considering what Ameya mentioned on leveling certain things. I'm sure we will take it note. And I'm sure regulators also will have to roll up their sleeves to become very conducive pharma manufacturing sector. And yesterday only there was a meeting scheduled by Secretary of Department of Pharmaceuticals. He addressed online all the drug controllers from all the states expand their capacities and capabilities and facilities. It will go full hard, put them totally on throttle and give support them the best possible way. But I think a lot of things are happening, and I think, end of the day, I heard this statement from a lot of people. Live India or love India, you just have to know India. With that note, I think I will emphasize on the statement, pharma manufacturing, welcome to India. For sure. Thank you very much.